What is up, guys? Delboy here. So, a rather interesting story has broken. Amir Khan is considering a $5 million offer to fight Terence Crawford on the 23rd of March 2019. Very interesting story. Now, Louis Collazo has actually agreed to fight Terence Crawford in March, but Crawford hasn't signed his part of that contract, so that fight isn't official. And it looks like in the meantime, Amir Khan has been offered this fight. Now, like most of you guys, well, I'm assuming you're thinking along the same lines, I would much rather see Terence Crawford versus Amir Khan rather than Crawford versus Collazo. Amir Khan has already decisively beaten Louis Collazo, and the fight with Khan is a lot bigger. I would rather see it, so I'm sure we're all on the same page there. But I've got to be honest, I would rather see Terence Crawford versus Amir Khan rather than Khan versus Kell Brook. I'll be completely honest. I know Amir Khan versus Kell Brook in the UK, it is still a big fight. It will get a lot of people interested. But for me, I've got to be honest, I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. To me, that fight should have happened back in 2015 when Kell Brook was the IBF welterweight champion. That is when that fight should have happened. It should have happened after Kell Brook's first defence of his title. Kell Brook won the title in August 2014. He then actually got stabbed. After he recovered from his stabbing, he fought Jojo Dan. You know, that was a mandatory, and I felt Kell Brook needed that fight after that type of injury. You know, he needed a lesser fight. After Jojo Dan is when this fight should have happened, in my opinion. And obviously, as we all know, both guys went on without each other. Khan lost to Alvarez in a suicide mission. Kell Brook lost to Gennady Golovkin in a suicide mission. And also Brook went on to lose to Errol Spence. He lost his IBF welterweight title in that fight. After the Spence fight, Brook and his team said he could no longer make welterweight healthily, so he would be moving up to super welterweight. Here we are, back end of 2018. Oh, do you know what? Brook is going to go down to welterweight to fight Khan. I'm sorry, it's past its best. It should have happened before now, to be quite honest. And like I said, I'm just sick of it. I would rather see somebody like Terence Crawford get a big fight, a big high-profile fight. He deserves it far more than either one of these guys, as far as I'm concerned. And Khan being the guy who's going to fight him, or maybe fight him, that's fair enough with me. Terence Crawford, he is a freeweight world champion. He unified at 140, and I believe he deserves a high-profile fight, to be quite honest. Amir Khan is a big name. According to the report on Boxing Scene, this fight could be a pay-per-view on ESPN. So yeah, I think Terence Crawford, he deserves this type of fight, and especially considering that Errol Spence isn't really interested in fighting him. He's showing no real signs to want to do that. In the meantime, Terence Crawford versus Amir Khan, to me, makes sense. I think it would be a fun fight, and, I would like to see it, to be quite honest. At this point, I think Khan loses to both Terence Crawford and Kell Brook, to be quite honest. But, I'd rather see Terence Crawford get that shine, to be completely honest. Kell Brook has had his chance, and it's not worked out. And I'm not hating on Kell Brook. If you followed this channel, you would realise that, I've been a huge admirer of Kell Brook's ability and his talent. I think naturally, he may be the most talented fighter in the UK. At one point, he certainly was, in my opinion. But, his career, it has moved at a snail's pace. I think he's been managed quite poorly. He should have stepped up far earlier than he did. He should never have taken the Golovkin fight, in all honesty. And, he should have taken better care of himself outside of the ring. He's had his chance. Whether I like him or not, whether I rate him or not, is irrelevant. He's had his chance, and he's not made the most of it. It's that simple. And I'm not saying, and again, I'm not hating on Kell Brook. I'm not saying he's had a bad career, because he hasn't had a bad career. In comparison to 99.9% of fighters out there, he's had a very good career. But, I'm just past this fight between Brook and Khan. I'd rather see one of these two guys fight somebody else. If they're going to fight at welterweight, I would rather see other fights at this point. you know. And don't get me wrong, if Khan Brook happened, I'm not going to lie to you, of course I would still watch it. But would I pay for it now? Probably not, to be quite honest. But that's just my opinion. You know, again, not hating. I would just rather see these guys fight other people at this point. You know, Khan versus Crawford is fine by me. If Kell Brook is actually being serious and he wants to go back down to welterweight and, you know, fight other welterweights, you know, that's cool. But this fight just winds me up at this point. Share your thoughts below. As a UK fan, would you be mad with Khan versus Crawford? Or would you rather see Khan versus Brook? And that question goes to anybody really, to be quite honest. Share your thoughts below. Peace.